Once upon a time, there lived a little mouse named Remy. He was a country mouse, and his home was a cozy little burrow tucked away in a sunny meadow. Remy loved his simple life. He spent his days nibbling on sweet grains of wheat, juicy berries, and tasty nuts that he found in the fields and forests. At night, he would curl up on a soft bed of dried leaves and listen to the gentle chirping of the crickets. Life was peaceful, and Remy was very happy. One day, Remy's cousin, a town mouse named Pierre, came to visit. Pierre was used to the hustle and bustle of the city. When he saw Remy's simple home and plain food, he turned up his nose. "My dear Remy," he said, "how can you live like this? You eat nothing but seeds and roots. In the city, we feast on the most amazing delicacies every single day. You must come with me and see the magnificent life I lead." Remy was curious. He had never seen a city before. The idea of feasting on delicious food sounded very exciting. So, he packed a small bag and set off with Pierre to the town. The journey was long and tiring, but finally, they arrived at a grand mansion. Remy's eyes widened in amazement. He had never seen such a huge and splendid building. Pierre led him through a tiny crack in the wall and into a grand dining room. The table was covered with the remains of a magnificent feast. There were leftover cakes with creamy frosting, chunks of rich cheese, and bits of savory meat. Remy's mouth watered. "Wow, Pierre," he exclaimed, "this is incredible. You were right." They hopped onto the table and began to nibble on the delicious food. Remy had never tasted anything so wonderful in his entire life. He thought he was in paradise. But just as they were enjoying their meal, the dining room door creaked open. Two enormous cats with sharp claws and gleaming eyes pounced into the room. "Quick, hide," squeaked Pierre. They scrambled off the table and scurried into a dark hole in the wall. Their hearts pounding in their chests, they waited, trembling. Until the cats finally left, Remy was terrified. "Are those cats always here?" he whispered. "Oh." "Yes," Pierre replied casually. "And the cook and the dog. You just have to be quick." Later that night, they tried to sneak another bite. But this time, the cook came back, and they had to run for their lives again. Remy couldn't even enjoy the food anymore. He was constantly looking over his shoulder, his nerves completely frayed. The city was full of amazing food, but it was also full of constant danger. The next morning, a tired and shaken Remy told his cousin he was leaving. "But why?" asked Pierre. "Think of all the wonderful food we have." Remy shook his head. "Thank you, my dear cousin, but I'm going back to the country. Your life is full of luxury, but it's also full of fear. I would rather have my simple grains and berries in peace and safety than your fancy cakes in constant terror." And with that, Remy said his goodbyes and hurried back to his little burrow in the meadow. As he settled into his soft, leafy bed, munching on a simple acorn, he felt a deep sense of relief. He realized that a simple, peaceful life, even without luxuries, was far more valuable than a life of wealth filled with fear and anxiety. He had learned that what truly matters is not what you have, but the peace and happiness you feel in your heart. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more classic tales. See you next time.